thank you for joining us today. And we will be taking you through our academic governance benchmarking survey collaborative project. For those of you who aren't aware, this is a new project from Advance AHE, and my name is Dan Tinkler. I'm our Governance Development Manager. I've been with the organisation since January 2020, and I have been in this role since October 2021. Some of you may have seen me at previous webinars or events on Academic Assurance Project, presenting work back in our governance survey findings that we did, or at various governor development programme events or our annual conference. So I'd like to start really with why we have developed this new offer. There has been an increasing focus on academic governance and assurance from regulators and political issues surrounding higher education that you are undoubtedly aware of. There are questions around academic quality a lot more and how organisations seek assurance for academic quality. So responding to these needs, we're looking at where we can provide assurance to governing bodies that academic governance is effective. For those of you who are from English institutions, you'll know there is a regulatory requirement to ensure effective student outcomes as part of ongoing conditions of registration, B3, so making sure that you have student continuation, graduate employment metrics, and hitting a threshold at course level. For anybody who's joining us from Scottish institutions, it is now a requirement from the Scottish Funding Council that you undertake an external academic governance review, the bicameral review, and this offer is designed to support that process. It's also about good governance and good assurance in general, and there is a value in reviewing your academic governance in the way that many institutions will with corporate governing bodies. So we have designed this to support you in undertaking further review work. This project will not give you 100% of the answers. It is not a full in-depth review. That may be similar if you've had reviews of your council or board governing body. What it will do is a chance to understand your own perception of academic governance performance, and it will do so in an anonymous manner. We do not know who fills out the survey on your behalf or for your institution. We do not collect the information. So this is a truly anonymous chance to understand your own performance and how members of your own academic board, senate, whatever title you use, view their own performance of your academic governing body. And it's also an opportunity to understand where you compare across the sector. We received a large amount of feedback from the sector saying, well, you have a fantastic governing effectiveness survey to be used with corporate boards. How come we can't benchmark for our academic board? So we have developed this with a sector steering group over the past 6 to 7 months, looking at actually what is really needed. So we have launched a new academic governance survey, and this project is a chance to be part of the pilot work, to get it at a very discounted rate, heavily discounted, and to be part of the initial data set and build that sort of benchmark group as 6 institutions who can take part, where ideally you can create your own action learn and sets following. So how the project will work. There are 3 steering group meetings. And that we will kick off with them in the 19th of October. It was the first one, after which we will open the benchmarking survey for 2 weeks until the 6th of November. We can be a little bit flexible on dates, but we suggest that you issue that yourselves through us. We will open 1 place per institution to be on the steering group. Our recommendation is that this is the governance professional who works with your academic board or senate. The steering group will have an oversight of the project and will make sure that we work together as a team as we co-create and co-deliver the approach with you. The survey takes roughly 20 minutes, and so we can open it straight away, and it will be 1 link per institution. So it will not be the case that you're filling exactly the same survey as everybody else. We're able to pull off and extract the data for your institution while creating the comparisons across the 6 six institutions that will join us. We'll then move into individual analysis and benchmarking. So you will get a report on that week commencing the 13th of November. This comes as a PowerPoint presentation, and I'll show you later on some of the slides that we will use and how this breaks down. But we will benchmark you on every single core question. We'll provide a RAG rating, so the red, amber, green on your performance or perceived performance, and we'll benchmark against the rest of the group as to where you stand. We'll then conduct a second steering group that very week. We'll take and we'll show the data across the whole of the 6 groups, and we'll talk through what our findings are and what you would like to see in the overall project report. So this is very much part of our no surprises approach, and that is key to engage you throughout, and that you have a chance to feed in where you want this report to go. We will then go away and work on the overall project report. This will be the same report that will go to all 6 institutions, and will show our key findings across the 8 areas that we have in the survey. And then on Stage 5, we will conduct a final steering group meeting after issuing the report, a chance to feedback for us to make any changes that you think are needed, and crucially to agree a date and a focus for an online workshop. That online workshop you will get 3 places at. We don't want to open up to any more because we want to make sure that we've got people in there so that it doesn't become too big and that you don't get as much value out of it. So that'll be 3 places per institution for 18 people to participate in a half-day online workshop. Now, we've not said what that workshop will be on because it will be very much determined as to what the key findings are from the 6 surveys that we will issue and the project findings as a whole. So it could be on effective committee membership, it could be on oversight and ownership of academic assurance, it could be in relation to developing an approach to an EDI strategy and recruitment and retention of diverse members of academic board or senate. It will all depend on what we find throughout the project. So the delivery team, I'll start with myself because I'm here and talking. So I'll be providing oversight to this project and working as the Advanced AHE staff contact and making sure that there is quality assurance behind everything. So I've already said a little bit about myself earlier on, but I have recently led our academic assurance project in 22-23, which is also continuing into this year with Universities UK, Guild AHE and Committee of University Chairs. Andrea Blanchflower will be your main point of contact. Andrea will work with the steering group, will lead the workshop, and will be leading the authoring of the collective report. Andrea has recently stepped down from the university executive role, and where she was Director of Governance and Assurance, and has a career progressing through from administrator roles to assistant registrar before becoming a Director of Teaching and Learning. And she's currently also a governor on a further education college and a previous member of the Academic Registrars Council. Kay Renfrew will be the final member of the team. Kay is an associate with Advanced AHE. Kay has worked with us for a number of years and is basically our high-level data analyst and understands information management. So Kay leads the benchmarking work. Kay will undertake the individual reports and will be the one who provides your benchmarking analysis. So Kay will be in the background, but you will meet her at the steering group as well. So the structure of the survey, say we issue that anonymously by the institutional contact. We would recommend that to be the governance professional. We open it up to all members of academic board or those who are in attendance. Really, it's up to you to decide who this goes to. We would say that you should make it available to everybody who is a member, and if you have those who are regularly in attendance or may attend for 1-2 items on a regular basis, then it should be open to them as well. We have 8 core themes which we benchmark. commitment to effective governance, academic governance and assurance, structure and processes, recruitment and membership, quality, diversity and inclusion, working relationships and behaviours, outcomes of effective governance, and the committees, so the committees of your academic board or senate. There are a number of questions in each section. Then we work off a 7-point scale. It's from strongly agree to strongly disagree, and we also provide an option for don't know. We will then conduct data analysis, and you will get individualized breakdowns for each question. The survey takes roughly 20 minutes to complete, and it does all need to be done in one go. It runs through the JISC surveys platform, if any of you are familiar and have used that before. We do provide optional extra sections which you can use per institution, so you may choose to take an extra section and we'll provide a list of what they are at the steering group. Our recommendation is you never do more than 1 to 2 extra sections, otherwise a 20-minute survey becomes a 45-minute survey and the completion rate will completely dip. Those optional extra sections, you do not get the benchmarked analysis because obviously not every participant will be using those questions. However, you will still get the red, amber, green rating on them and you will see come back there. So I'll show you a little bit of an example of what the benchmark report could look like. What I want to make clear is that this is completely made up data, so this is not from anywhere, but this is a one that I've put together. So in this one is not as high performing, and you will break down on section performance. So you can see from what I've come up with here that recruitment and membership was clearly a concern for this fictional institution, and that academic governance and assurance was one of the better performing areas, but is still in red. And the way we work is anything that is under 70% we score as red. Anything that receives 70 to 79 receives an amber, and anything that is above 80% we identify in green. And it's really, really important to note that this is your own perception of your performance of members of academic board and senate. And we do break it down much further by member type. So in this one, we broke down to ex officio and nominated members, and you can see that actually nominated members actually had a far greater confidence in the performance of academic governance and assurance than ex officio. And obviously that's something that you would want to explore in a lot more detail over time, and how you can then increase confidence in academic governance and assurance from ex officio members. We can also break down by duration of membership. So for this one, we said sort of the newer members, which I think were those who had been on less than 2 years when we use that data, but we so yeah, less than a year, 1 to 2 years, and longer standing members, which was 3 to 4 years, 5 years and over. And actually, for those who had been there for over 5 years, they could clearly see outcomes of effective governance, whereas those who had less than 2 years did not see it as strong. So we can break down, we can show the data as to how you need to see it. You'll also receive a breakdown question by question. So you can see some of the questions that are on here. And again, completely made up data, but the composition of Senate membership is about right. If it was in high performance here, 85-15. We've got then Senate effectively oversight with subcommittees with a lower performance. So what that may mean. Now, what you may notice is some of the percentages don't always add up to 100 on these reports. If there are those who have not filled in that section or left it, we do mark that down as effectively a don't know, or we don't put the information in there. So we don't want to skew the data by saying, well, people haven't filled this in. So we look at where people can actively say that they agree, strongly agree, and that they're with the question for seeking assurance. So in terms of the outputs that you will receive, there are obviously the 3 steering group meetings. They will all take place online. I should have mentioned this earlier. The whole project is delivered online. You will receive access to the benchmarking survey and including our administration and support. we don't ask you to set that survey up. We set it up. We issue the links. We issue the text for you. Everything that you need to send out, we will provide to you. And obviously, it's up to you if you wish to put any additional information on there and anything that you want to do and how you communicate that to your academic board or senate. You receive the personalized benchmarking report. There will be an overall project report, and that'll be more sort of a traditional report that you'll be used to receiving if you've ever undertaken a governance effectiveness review. And then the half-day online workshop on survey findings. As mentioned, 3 places per institution, and the subject must be agreed by the steering group. Where we see clear benefits is that it provides an evidence base to governors with assurance of regulatory requirements, B3 in England, bicameral reviews in Scotland and Wales. An evidence to lay foundations for further development work to be undertaken by in-house governance effectiveness teams, however you choose to do that, whether it sits through a governance committee or it's anyone who works with the secretary, however your setup is. It's a chance to really join a network of institutions. We don't want the 6 who participate in this to be it finishes in December and project done. We would like you to be able to work together and form your own action learning sets, and we're happy to support that and provide spaces for you to do so. We can provide a space on Advance AHE Connect, our platform, if you want a small group to put in together. And really is benefit from a cost-effective approach to benchmarking the institution's academic governance and assurance. So we have 6 places on the project. It is £2,750 per Advance AHE member. We have set a deadline to join of the 13th of October, and I should really be clear in terms of the cost. I think if we were to do this sort of individually and the costs involved there, it would probably come in closer to sort of 7,000 to 8,000. So we have made this a real cut price approach and shared across the group. By doing it as a collaborative, you receive it for a fraction of the price. If you do wish to join the project, then please contact either myself directly, and my email's on the screen. You can contact solutions@advanced-he.ac.uk, or contact your Advance AHE head of membership. If you are unsure of who your Advance AHE head of membership is, then please just email me and I will be able to put you in touch with them directly. That covers a lot of the project and what it will look like, and I'm happy to stop the recording and move over to any questions that you may have.